What if the reason your life feels repetitive is not because nothing new is happening, but because the same version of you keeps waking up every single day and continues from where it left yesterday without ever realizing it? Just stay with this question. Don't rush to answer it. Don't try to agree or disagree. Just observe your own experience as we move forward, because this is not a concept you need to believe. This is something you can actually see if you are willing to slow down enough. Think about how your day begins, not the ideal version, not the disciplined morning routine you plan, but the real one. The moment your eyes open, before your body stretches, before you even move, before you become aware of the room, something has already started. A stream of thoughts, soft, familiar, predictable. A voice that does not introduce itself because it has been repeating itself for years. It knows exactly what to say. It reminds you of unfinished tasks, of conversations pending, of responsibilities waiting for you, of things that might go wrong today. And slowly, without any conscious effort, your mind enters your life. You haven't chosen those thoughts. They appeared automatically, like a program that was already running in the background, just waiting for you to wake up so it could continue from where it paused. Now notice something deeper. As these thoughts begin to flow, your body quietly starts responding. A slight tightening in your chest, a subtle drop in your stomach, a faint sense of pressure in your breathing. Nothing dramatic, nothing alarming, just enough to feel familiar. And that familiarity is important because it sends a silent message to your system. This is normal. This is how you feel. This is who you are. And just like that, before your day has even begun, you have already become the same person again. Now, imagine this clearly. You are lying in bed. Your body is still. But inside, your identity is assembling itself. Thought by thought, feeling by feeling, memory by memory. And then, almost automatically, your hand reaches for your phone. And it looks like a simple action, just checking, just scrolling. But it is not simple. It is reinforcement. Names appear, messages appear, notifications appear, and each one of them is not just information. It is a reminder, a signal, telling your brain, this is your life, this is your role, this is who you need to be today. And in that moment, you are not starting a new day. You are stepping back into a familiar one, because everything you are interacting with is connected to your past, your known self, your repeated patterns. So now pause here and really see this. Before your day has even started, you are already thinking the same way, feeling the same way, preparing to act the same way. And from the outside, it looks like life is happening. But from the inside, your brain is recreating you again and again and again. Now let's go deeper into what is actually happening, because this is not just psychological, this is biological. Every thought you think is not just a thought, it is a chemical instruction. The moment a thought appears, your brain releases specific chemicals. Those chemicals travel through your body like messengers, and your body begins to feel something. That feeling is what you call an emotion. So when you think about stress, your body begins to feel stress. When you think about pressure, your body begins to feel pressure. And that feeling is real. It is happening in your physiology. But here is where the loop completes. Because the moment your body feels that emotion, it sends signals back to your brain. And your brain responds by generating more thoughts that match that feeling. So now you are inside a loop. You think, you feel, think more, you feel more, and the loop continues, faster, stronger, more automatic, until one day you are no longer consciously creating your experience. You are just living a pattern. Now imagine this happening, not for a few minutes, but for years. The same thoughts, the same emotional reactions, the same responses, over and over and over again. Slowly, your brain wires itself in that direction. Certain pathways become dominant. Certain reactions become automatic, and your body begins to memorize the emotions. Now something very critical happens. Your body becomes your subconscious mind. It starts knowing how to feel without you thinking. You wake up, and the feeling is already there. Before anything happens outside, something is already happening inside. A background emotion, a baseline state. And then your mind quickly finds thoughts to match that feeling, to justify it, to explain it. And this is where the illusion becomes complete, because it feels like your thoughts are creating your emotions, but in reality, your emotions are driving your thoughts. And this means something very powerful. The past is not just remembered, it is being relived through your body, through your chemistry, through your state of being. And that is why it feels so real. That is why it feels so difficult to change. Because you are not just dealing with thoughts, you are dealing with a conditioned identity. Now let's bring this into real life. Imagine two people in the same situation, same environment, same challenge. One feels calm, one feels anxious. Why? Because the environment is not the only factor. Their internal state is. And that internal state has been built over time, through repetition, through memory, through emotional conditioning. So now understand this clearly. Your life is not just shaped by what happens to you. It is shaped by how you repeatedly experience what happens. And if your internal experience remains the same, your life begins to follow the same pattern. Now this is the trap. The present moment, which is supposed to be fresh, open, full of possibility, becomes nothing more than a continuation of the past. Not because the present is limited, but because your state is repetitive. You are physically here, but mentally there. You are in today, but feeling yesterday. And when that happens, no matter what changes outside, inside, everything feels the same. And that is why people feel stuck. Not because they are stuck in life, but because they are stuck in themselves. And until that changes, nothing truly changes. And that is the present trap. Now let's go deeper into something that most people never really understand. And yet it is the very reason why change feels so difficult, and why even when you try to think differently, you somehow end up feeling the same. Because the real challenge is not your thoughts. The real challenge is what your body has learned to feel. Let me explain this in a way you can actually experience. Think about a moment in your life when something emotionally intense happened. It could be a failure, a rejection, a loss, a moment where you felt hurt, disrespected, ignored, or overwhelmed. Now notice something. You don't just remember what happened, you remember how it felt. In fact, sometimes the feeling is even stronger than the memory itself, because the moment that event happened, your brain recorded it, not just as information, but as an experience. Your senses captured the scene, your mind interpreted it, and your body felt it. And that feeling became chemistry. Now here is the important part. The stronger the emotion, the stronger the chemical change in your body. And the stronger the chemical change, the deeper the memory gets stored. So now, that event is not just something that happened. It becomes something that lives inside you, in your nervous system, in your body. in your emotional baseline. And every time you recall that memory, you are not just remembering it, you are reactivating it. The same neural circuits fire, the same chemicals are released, and your body begins to feel as if it is happening again. Now pause here, because this is where the loop becomes powerful. If you keep revisiting that memory again and again and again, your brain becomes more efficient at firing those circuits, and your body becomes more familiar with those emotions, until one day, you no longer need the original event to feel the same way. Your body can generate the feeling on its own. Now imagine what this does to your daily life. You wake up, and before anything has happened, your body is already carrying a familiar emotional state. And because the body is feeling it, the brain starts producing thoughts that match it. So now, your present moment is being filtered through a past emotion. And that is why two people can experience the same situation and interpret it completely differently, because they are not reacting to the situation. They are reacting from their state. Now let's take this even deeper, because this is where it becomes almost addictive. Every emotion is a chemical state, and your body gets used to certain chemical states, just like it gets used to caffeine, sugar, or any substance. It can also get used to emotions. So if you have been feeling stress for a long time, your body becomes familiar with stress chemistry. If you have been feeling frustration, your body becomes comfortable with frustration. If you have been feeling anxiety, your body adapts to that state. And over time, your body starts expecting it, craving it, not consciously, but biologically. Now something very subtle happens. Your body begins to influence your thoughts, because it wants to feel what it is used to feeling. So it sends signals to your brain, and your brain responds by generating thoughts that will recreate that emotion. This is the moment where you are no longer in control. Because now, you are not just thinking your emotions. Your emotions are thinking you. And this is where people get trapped. Because from the outside, it looks like they are just overthinking. But from the inside, they are actually reinforcing a chemical addiction to a familiar emotional state. Now bring this back to your daily life. Have you ever noticed how sometimes you feel irritated, and then your mind starts finding reasons to justify it? Or you feel anxious, and your mind starts imagining worst-case scenarios? Or you feel low, and suddenly everything in your life starts looking negative? This is not random. This is your body driving your mind, recreating a familiar state. Now imagine living like this for years. The same emotional baseline, the same thought patterns, the same reactions. And slowly, this becomes your identity. Not because you chose it, but because you repeated it. And this is the moment where people start saying things like, "This is just how I am. I am an anxious person. I get stressed easily. I overthink everything." But what they are really saying is, "I have practiced this pattern so many times that now it feels like me." And that is the illusion. Because identity is not something fixed. It is something practiced, repeated, conditioned. Now let's connect this to something even deeper. If your body is living in a familiar emotional state, and your brain is producing thoughts based on that state, then your entire perception of reality is being filtered through your past. Which means you are not seeing life as it is, You are seeing life as you have been. And this is why change feels so difficult. Because even when new opportunities appear, your old state filters them. Even when something good happens, your familiar emotions reinterpret it. Even when life gives you something new, your identity tries to fit it into the old pattern. And that is how the future starts resembling the past. Not because it has to, but because you are carrying it forward. Now take a breath and really feel this. You are not stuck in your life. You are stuck in your patterns. And those patterns are not just mental. They are biological, chemical, neurological. And until you understand this, you will keep trying to change your life from the outside, while your inside keeps pulling you back. But the moment you see this clearly, something shifts. Because now you understand that the problem is not out there. The problem is the loop. And once you see the loop, you can begin to step out of it. Not instantly, not dramatically, but gradually, through awareness, through observation, through interruption. And that is where the real transformation begins. Because once you realize that your thoughts are not random, your emotions are not accidental, and your identity is not fixed, you begin to see a possibility that you can change, not by forcing, but by understanding, not by escaping your past, but by no longer feeding it. And that realization is the beginning of freedom. Now that you can see the pattern, and you can feel how deeply it is wired, there is one question that naturally arises. If the loop is so automatic, if the body is already conditioned, if the mind is already following familiar pathways, then how do you actually change? Not theoretically, not temporarily, but in a real, lasting, biological way. And the answer begins in a place that most people overlook, the present moment, but not the way it is usually understood. Because for most people, the present moment is just a transition, a bridge between the past and the future, something to move through, something to get over, something to escape. But what if the present moment is not just a moment in time, but the only place where change is actually possible? Think about this carefully. The past is already recorded. It exists as memory, as neural patterns, as emotional imprints. The future is not yet created. It exists only as possibility, which means the only place where you can interrupt the past and influence the future is right here, now. But here is the challenge. Most people are never actually in the present. They are physically here, but mentally in the past, or projecting into the future. Their body is feeling yesterday, while their mind is worrying about tomorrow. And in that state, nothing truly new can happen, because the system is closed, recycling the same patterns over and over again. So the first shift is not about changing your life. It is about becoming present, truly present, not just aware of your surroundings, but aware of your internal state, aware of your thoughts as they arise, aware of your emotions as they move through you, aware of your impulses before they turn into actions. And this awareness is not passive, it is powerful. Because the moment you become aware, you are no longer completely identified with the pattern. There is a gap, a space, and in that space, something new becomes possible. Choice. Now, understand this clearly. You do not break the loop by fighting it. You break the loop by seeing it. Because the moment you see it, you are no longer unconsciously running it. You are observing it. And observation begins to weaken the pattern. Now imagine this moment. You notice a familiar thought arising. Maybe a thought of stress or doubt or frustration. Earlier, you would have immediately followed it, believed it, reacted to it. But now, you pause. You see it. You don't suppress it. You don't resist it. You simply observe it. And in that observation, something subtle happens. You are no longer the thought. You are the one noticing the thought. And that shift changes everything. Because now you have a choice to continue the pattern or to interrupt it. At first, this feels unnatural because your body is expecting the old reaction. It wants the familiar emotion. It tries to pull you back. Your mind supports it. It creates convincing arguments, logical reasons, emotional justifications. But if you stay present, if you do not react immediately, if you allow that discomfort to exist, something begins to change. The pattern loses momentum. The emotional intensity reduces. And for the first time, you are not being driven by your past. You are responding from awareness. Now this is where creation begins. Because the moment you stop reacting automatically, you create space to choose consciously. And what you choose in that moment begins to define your future. Not in a dramatic way, but in a subtle, consistent, accumulative way. You choose a different thought, a thought that is not based on fear, but on clarity. You choose a different feeling, a feeling that is not based on the past, but aligned with what you want to experience. You choose a different action, a response that reflects who you want to become, not who you have been. And each time you do this, you are sending a new signal to your brain and body. You are telling your system, this is the new direction. This is the new state. This is the new identity. At first, it feels unfamiliar because it is new, because your body has not experienced it enough. But with repetition, something powerful begins to happen. Your brain starts wiring new pathways. Your body starts getting familiar with new emotions. And slowly, a new pattern begins to form. This is how identity changes. Not in one big moment, but in repeated small moments where thought, emotion, and action begin to align. Now let's take this even deeper, because this is where most people stop, but this is where the real shift happens. It is not enough to just think differently, because the body does not respond to logic alone. The body responds to experience, to feeling, to emotional states. So if you want to create a new future, You cannot just think about it. You have to feel it before it happens. You have to teach your body what that future feels like, without the external condition being present. Because when your body begins to feel that future, it no longer remains a distant possibility. It becomes a lived experience. And when your body experiences something repeatedly, it begins to accept it as familiar, as normal, as you. Now imagine what this means. You are no longer waiting for life to change, to feel different. You are changing how you feel to create a different life. And this is where everything reverses. Instead of your environment controlling your state begins to influence your environment. Instead of reacting to life, you begin to create it. Now take a moment and really feel this shift. You are no longer trapped in the present. You are no longer repeating your past. You are using this moment to redefine your future. Thought by thought, feeling by feeling, choice by choice. And slowly, something begins to happen. Your reactions change. Your behavior changes. Your perception changes. And as that happens, your experiences begin to change. Not all at once, not instantly, but gradually, naturally, because you are no longer the same person. And that is the key. Life does not change first. You change first, and then life reflects it. So the real work is not out there. It is here, in this moment, in this awareness, in this choice. And every time you return to this moment, every time you interrupt the old pattern, every time you choose differently, you are stepping out of the loop. You are stepping into creation. And that is the shift, from survival to creation, from repetition to possibility, from past to present. Because the present moment is not just where you are, it is where you begin again. And that is where your life truly changes.